In the repair shop today,
Once they join together, I'm not going to be able to pull them apart.
Susie's in a sticky situation,
So fingers crossed we get this right.
and a giant of Welsh rugby arrives at the barn.
I think this is probably the biggest piece I've had in the repair shop. It's huge.
James Whitehouse has travelled from the Midlands and needs Dominic Chinea to mend a mangled memento.
It's been rammed into a few things by the looks of it.
Yeah, it does. Look at that. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Really good, thanks.
So this lovely lawnmower is yours, yeah?
It is now, yeah, but it belonged to my grandpa. It's a vintage lawnmower.
Right.
But sadly, it no longer works. I think it's 57 years old, and it was made in Birmingham, which is where I'm from,
Right.
and where my grandpa was from.
Right. What's Grandad's name?
Edwin Whitehouse.
What was Grandad like?
Yeah, he was a lovely, kind gentleman.
Yeah.
Very gentle and humble. And he always encouraged us to have a go at stuff. And of course, he let me have a go at his lawnmower, his prized possession, and taught me how to cut the grass when I was about 7 years old.
So 7 years old?
7 years old?
I know. And for like a 7-year-old kid with, you know, a machine that's got cutty, sharp blades and
Yeah.
a throttle and a clutch, I was probably like this height,
Yeah.
as you see it there. But yeah, it was great. My brother and I, we thought it'd be good if we could race each other on who could cut the lawns the fastest.
Yeah.
And yeah, I realised that when you come to the hairpin turn at the end of a run,
Hairpin turn.
well, yeah,
It's a lawn, isn't it?
And a mower, not a car, not a racing car. Yeah.
Hairpin, like, why? OK.
you didn't have to back the throttle off here or drop the clutch and slowly move it around. You could welly it in like this and then quickly spin it round and head back up the garden and shave seconds off your lap time. At the end of one of the runs, there was a low wall to a
Right.
flower bed, and I didn't always make the turn, and it sometimes would skid off, and the nose cone would get damaged. But it was great fun, and after it was all done, my grandpa would get the cricket bat out, and we'd play a game of cricket until we were called in for tea.
Happy memories.
Yeah, very happy memories. When we opened the shed door, you know, it was as if he was unveiling something that, you know, meant a lot to him.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'd wheel it out, it'd make that clicking sound.
Yeah.
And this never started first time. And I can just see him, you know, yanking it with his big hands and, yeah, and then showing me how it works. And the
Yeah.
smoke, there's like a billow of smoke from, you know, a bit of oil and petrol coming out of the exhaust here. And,
Yeah.
and away we go.
Brilliant.
So when you were 7 years old, what did this look like? Was it like a racing car?
It was mint, yeah, it was. I believe it's a racing green paintwork. And I think this, is it the flywheel? I'm not too sure. This was lovely red. Because I've hit that flower bed wall, I think I've torn this aluminium bucket at the front and the dents. The blades are just rusty.
If Dom's able to fix this and get it working, is your brother and you going to go racing again, or what's going to happen to it?
I'll use it for my front lawn, and also my 7-year-old can use it as well to cut the lawn as well.
See if he can beat your lap time.
That's right. I think to hear it fire up again, and then smell and taste that freshly cut grass mixed with a hint of oil and petrol, and see it how I remember it in its racing green, you know, livery. It will be amazing. It will transport me back to when I was a little boy and some many happy memories.
Thank you for bringing this in. If you leave it with us, I'm sure Dom's going to work some kind of magic on it, aren't you?
I'll try my best.
Okay.
I'll try.
Right.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Lovely to meet you.
Cheers.
You
Thank
take care now.
Cheers.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Now we know where that come from, eh?
now it makes sense.
Yeah.
This is going to be an absolute joy to work on. These old machines were built so well and so nicely, but I need to try and work out why it's not working. As I pull the pull cord, The engine is free. It's not seized up, which is a really good sign. It's all pointing towards the electrical side of things. In the most simple way, air and fuel go into the engine, it explodes, and it comes out the exhaust. At the moment, we're missing the explosion, which is going to be an electrical fault. I've also got the cosmetics to deal with. It's going to be a big job. There's an awful lot to do, but I can see it already, and it's going to look beautiful. But before any of that, I need to take this completely apart. I'm in my element here with this. I love it. There is really no reason why this mower can't be cutting grass as good, if not better, than a modern replacement. It just needs a little bit of love.
You ever seen a plaque this big before?
I haven't. No, this is enormous, isn't it?
I used to have something like this, about that big on my mantelpiece.
You need a big mantelpiece.
Yeah.
Next, Lynn Howell from Barry. He's responsible for a prestigious piece of sporting history, which he needs silversmith Brent and West to restore.
There it is. Hello.
Hi there.
How you doing? You all right?
OK, thanks.
Tell us about this shield.
It's the Doer Challenge Trophy. It's a rugby trophy.
OK.
Played for by under-15 sides.
Right.
This is played for by 26 districts all over Wales every year. First started in 1904-05 season, so it's a very special trophy to Welsh schools rugby.
Wow.
So it's a historic piece as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And
So how come you've got it?
I'm the secretary of the Welsh Schools Intermediate Group, and they run this competition. My responsibility is to get this to the final every year.
Yeah.
The final is played on the Principality Stadium, which is the National Stadium of Wales, where the senior team play.
Yeah.
It's a great experience. And at the end, obviously, they presented with this trophy.
And then whoever's won it has got a badge or a shield or something on there.
Yeah. It's been won from all over Wales, East, West, Rhondda, Neath, Swansea. All the main stars now who you see on the TV, George North, etc., they will have played for this trophy. When they start playing for this, that's when they start progressing on to rugby as a career, basically. Every time I see it, it sort of brings goosebumps to me, because when I think of all the people that have gone before, it's very special.
It sounds like you've devoted a lot of your time to rugby.
Yeah, I was a school teacher for nearly 40 years in a boys' secondary school. So I've been very much involved since that time, really. It's a very, very special trophy, and I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else, I assure you. It means that much.
What would you like Brenton to do to this? Because I can see there's a crack there.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's in danger of falling apart. I think one of the letters is missing there. There's a gap in the middle here that we have never got to the bottom of whether there was something there or not. There's 4 small holes there.
There must have been something. What do you actually want to happen with that?
For me, it would be something to do with rugby, obviously. Anything you can do, we'll be really grateful for, I'm sure.
Lynn, thank you for bringing this in. Letting us know about rugby. This is it's a real honour to have it here.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah?
Look after it, won't you?
We will.
We will.
Yeah.
Both of us will.
Thank you.
You take
Bye.
care.
There's a lot of work to do, and then we've got to fix this split.
Don't worry about that. Lou, do you mind joining us?
New to the Barnes crack team, Lou Bainbridge, who has 15 years' experience as a conservator and woodworker.
What'd you think of that?
Yeah. The likelihood is it's cracked in the weakest point, and it was probably constructed in 2 sections.
Okay.
So it has gone down the original joint.
Right.
So we will need everything off the front in order to address the wood.
Okay.
And then we'll have a nice clean surface to be able to really make it look nice.
For now, we've got to get it someone's bench. Susie, Kirsten, do you mind joining us, please? This is proper heavy. So, if you guys get the bottom,
OK.
I'm going to lift it and then just rock it
OK.
back.
Yep, got it.
Oh, that's nice and light now, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect. Teamwork.
So I'm just photographing where all these shields and plaques go so I get them on in the right place. I'm noticing that some of these are nickel-coloured, brass-coloured, where the silver plate is worn off. So these will need polishing and re-silver plating. So Bridge End, 1983, 1984. There we go. in a little pot. I think this is probably the biggest piece I've had in the repair shop. It's huge. I've got to be really careful not to bend these silver plaques and shields, but I've also got to be careful not to scratch this wood too much. In fact, Lou, you can give us a hand, try and get some of these off.
Yep. Just start with this one.
Yeah, give it a go.
Dom has dismantled the chassis of the vintage lawnmower, allowing him to investigate exactly why the engine isn't working.
This is the cylinder head. Inside here is the chamber where the air and the fuel enter and explode. There we go. These two little circles here are the valves. The fuel comes in through that one, and if I turn the engine over, that should go up, and then it should seal. After the explosion happens, that is the exhaust one. That should open and let all the fumes out the exhaust. So you can see as I turn the engine over, the exhaust valve is stuck. That is definitely a problem, but it's not one I was expecting. It definitely doesn't explain the electrical problem and the lack of spark, so I need to get in a little bit deeper and try and find the electrical components and see what's wrong in there. Come on. Okay. This is where all of the magic happens, and unfortunately, that's what's broken. So I need to change the condenser, probably change the coil. I'll try and clean up the points, and once all those new parts are in there, we should have a spark. Here we go. I think we'll be okay. We should be able to get this running again. I've now cleaned everything, polished everything up. Everything is ready to go, apart from this valve. All I'm doing now is lapping this exhaust valve, which is a very old-fashioned technique with this literally a piece of wood and a plunger, a little sort of sucker on the end. That's got the valve on the end of it. And I'm using a grinding paste, essentially sort of grinding it back into position. It's so important that the angle of the valve sits and seals up against the engine housing. That was obviously not happening before because this valve was stuck, and it is essential for a good running engine. After a while, it gets nice and smooth. Oh, yes. You know what? That is looking so much better. It's all moving as it should. So the exhaust valve is now bobbing up and down in time with the inlet valve. There we go. The next thing that I'm going to install is this. This small little gold thing here, it's a condenser. That was the main problem for this engine not running. So I've changed it, replaced it for a new one. This is such an important part of getting the engine running. I need to make sure this all goes on right. I've got high hopes. I think we're going to have a good engine here. This poor grass box has really seen better days. James and his brother's driving skills, I think, leave a little bit to desired. Well, lawnmower driving skills, that is. Really badly dented. That said, so with a little bit of time, some work with my hammer and dollies, I'm going to try and push all of these dents and hammer them back out so this is nice and back to its original shape. Once I get the green paint on, it's going to look lovely. That's the first coat on. I need to let that dry before I can put one more on top.
Deborah Earle has travelled to the barn from Canterbury in the knowledge that Susie Fletcher's leatherwork skills could save her keepsake.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Come on in.
How are you?
Good, very good. What have you brought in for us?
It's just a leather belt.
I'm sure it's not just a leather belt.
No, it's very special to me because it was given to me on my 16th birthday by my parents.
Oh.
Connected with a very special day out.
Why? What happened?
So my dad was given tickets for Hicksted. Okay.
Sorry, what is Hicksted?
So it's the sort of the home of show jumping in England.
Right.
And got to see all my heroes, which were the horses of the time. I don't know if you remember Susie, Sportsman and Penwood Forge Mill. We'd had a walk around the shopping village and I saw this belt. And what made it stand out was it had my name carved into there. And at that time, I'd never seen anything with my name on. I really wanted it. And I probably didn't, make a fuss about it, but I probably, said to Mum and Dad, oh, I'd love that. And then one of them must have gone back and got it.
In secret?
Then, yeah, without me knowing.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, and wrapped it up and I opened it on my birthday. So it was a great surprise because I remember seeing it. It's just made it even more valuable to me.
A thoughtful thing to do.
Yeah, it really was. So it's been used from that day onward. 42 years of use.
Really?
My whole life.
You're at a show jumping event.
Yes, I was a pony-mad little girl growing up, begging Mum and Dad for lessons. It was a magical time. I mean, Dad ended up doing the commentating for the show jumping at the local shows, and Mum ended up show secretary.
No way.
So, yeah, so it's...
Are your parents still with us now?
No, sadly, no. No, we lost Dad in 2005, and we lost Mum to COVID.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What were your parents' names?
Margaret and John.
They sound like amazing parents.
I was very lucky, you don't always realise at the time, do you? It's not until later years you look back and think, how lucky you were. I've not kept anything else from that time. I have just used that belt. It's held up every pair of jeans I've ever owned. I think it is pretty much on its last legs. I think one of the holes has actually worn through here.
Oh, yeah.
And my friend put this piece, to reinforce it. And then this end is very thin.
I love that,
So-
because it shows that you really, really have cherished it.
Yeah. If you can turn the clock back 42 years, that would be perfect. But I can't imagine that you could.
Do my very best.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay, thank
See you again.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's about to go here, look.
You could literally just snap that.
Yeah.
It would break.
OK, I won't touch it anymore then.
No, thank you.
On that note,
Thank
good
you.
luck with it.
Thank you, I'm going to need it. I think this is a really lovely belt. It's clearly been made by a leather crafter. Debs has been wearing this for many, many years, and I love the fact that it's got that little bit of a curve and it becomes really, really familiar to the wearer. What I'm going to have to do is to line the entire belt so that it gets some strength back to it, and then sew a new tail on here and refresh the colour. This repair has been done by gluing a new piece of leather on top of the old. The problem with just gluing something on in an area that gets a lot of bending is it is likely to delaminate. Wherever possible, it's a good idea to sew it as well. I'm trying to keep the original tail because I want to sandwich it between the new backing I'm going to put on and the new tail on top to maintain as much of the original leather as possible, but also just to add a little bit of extra strength. Now I've got that off, I'll just drill out the rivet and take the buckle off.
While Brenton removes the dents from the winner's plaques, Lou is focusing on the Rugby trophy's woodwork.
I've sanded the surface back, so we've got a nice clear surface to work on. And I'm about to tackle the crack. I'm going to use the wedge and the mallet to try and split the shield in two so that we can get a much stronger joint. It's a strong bit of mahogany and it's not wanting to give up its hold. So I'm going to have to keep working from either end to try to ease it to go the way that it wants to. So we'll be able to put it back together in a more comfortable manner. I was hoping that this would just split down the line, and on the back there was a very clear line, but unfortunately it's following the natural grain of the wood. So we'll have to try and work it free. Wood does things that you wouldn't expect, and often does things that you really could do without.
So how are you getting on?
I'm just having a bit of trouble with this split. I think we'll have to try and put a wedge in, hammer it, and hope that it follows the last line of grain.
All right, let's give it a go. Yes.
Still got a bite.
There you go.
Well done.
Wow. So now it's apart. What you got to do now?
Put it back together, and it'll be good for another 100 years.
That's what I like to hear. Well done.
The shield is all polished now, and it's all ready for silver plating. When this was first made, it was made from copper, and over the years, subsequent polishes have taken the top layer of silver off all of the high points. And I've got a silver brush plating kit, which is going to put the silver back onto this using electroplating techniques. The negative goes onto the metal, and the positive holds the silver-bearing salt. And when the connection is made between the two, the silver leaves this liquid and attaches itself to this metal. These rugby players really are the focal point of the shield, and this is probably where the polisher would first start polishing, because certainly there's a lot of copper showing through. So I'm going to pay this particular attention and really make this look nice. There he goes. He's going back to silver, and doesn't that look good?
Because this is such a big piece of mahogany, I can't just glue it back together. We need to insert some biscuits, which are little pieces of wood. I've put some joint holes in, and when the glue's absorbed into the biscuit, they'll swell up, and when the two are sandwiched together, it'll give a really good, strong bond, and it'll offer more strength for years to come. I'm using fish glue, and it's a traditional adhesive, so it was more likely to have been used when the trophy was actually made 120 years ago. I'm a rugby fan. My dad and brother both played, and I spent a large quantity of my childhood at the rugby club. It does bring a smile to my face when I think of them. Here goes, fingers crossed. We'll just wiggle it into place, and I can start clamping everything together.
Lynn asked me if I could make some sort of decoration to cover this hole at the top here. So what I've decided to do is to make a rugby ball. So I've got a curved hammer And I'm just going to tap this a little bit and see how it comes out. And what this is doing is stretching the metal in the middle and making it into a bowl shape. I've gone for a traditional rugby ball, which was lace-up in the day, and I think that would be an appropriate decoration for this trophy. So I'm pretty happy with the shape of that now, and I've got to put some detail into it. I'm going to put some stitches made out of brass wire, and I'm going to silver plate it so it matches the rest of the shield. Absolutely chuffed to bits with this. I think Lynn's gonna love it. Look at that.
Looks fantastic.
Good, isn't it? You've done a fantastic job on the wood, but I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to nail all those shields back on.
Yeah, I'll leave you to it.
As Brenton begins reattaching the winner's plaques, Dom is cutting a swathe through his to-do list.
After an awful lot of painting and cleaning, it's finally time to put the mower back together. These are the original wooden rollers. I've cleaned them up, oiled them. They're perfectly fine. And I really have tried throughout this whole restoration to keep as much of the original as I can. There is quite a responsibility working on these old things, because this is James's childhood with his brother and his granddad, and to have it looking like it did when his granddad was using it is quite a special thing.
James's granddad treasured this lawnmower, and in turn, James cherishes this symbol of happy times spent with him. Now he wants to make more memories with his son, Isaac.
James!
Hi, Dom.
How are you doing?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Good to see you. Welcome back. Isaac, hello.
Hi.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Are you?
I am. I feel like it's Christmas Eve.
Oh.
I'm Isaac's age again, and my parents are telling me to go to bed because Father Christmas is on his way.
What are you hoping I've done?
To have my grandpa's mower back and working would be fantastic. For it to look how it was when I remember it, which was pristine, no pressure dump, would be just the icing on the cake, because my grandpa looked after it really well.
Well, do you want to see it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah? Isaac?
Yeah.
Wow. How have you done that, Tom? That is so good. Oh. It's unbelievable. So good. You're a genius, absolute genius. Wow. I mean, I know the damage I put in the front, it's perfect.
Oh.
And the paint job, it's, you know, it's what you'd see on a car, I think.
Yeah. What do you think, Isaac?
There's no dents and it all looks brand new.
I don't know how you've done it, Tom.
You think your grandpa would be pleased?
Absolutely, he would be, yeah. I'm sure he's smiling right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it work?
There's only one way to find out, isn't there? The big question really is, does your dad remember how to start it?
It never started first go, so I hope you've factored that into the redesign.
Well, we'll see.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at that. First go, that's amazing. It's never sounded like that good at all. That's fantastic. My lawnmower is back to beyond what it was before. Dom has knocked it out the park, or knocked it out the field, I should say. To be able to use it again and to pass it on to Isaac and to keep that going in the family, That is a really special thing.
Susie's also in the cutting business. In her case, to create a strong backing that will run the entire length of the disintegrating belt.
So I've got this wonderful russet leather. I've chosen this to back the belt because it's got some substance to it and it will make the belt feel a lot stronger and be a lot stronger. Okay, this is the sort of leather that Deb's belt would have originally been made from. So I was trying to decide what colour I wanted to stain this backing leather. So I went ahead and made a swatch of all the different browns that I have in my collection. And I'm looking for something that really complements the colour of the lettering of the Deborah. And the tan dye is a pretty good match. And I think that will really add some complementary colour to the backing of this leather. It's quite important to try and get this done quite quickly, otherwise you can end up with lots of streaks and dark and light areas. So I generally use a circular motion and then go over it again, and that should blend everything down to a more uniform colour. Once I'm happy with the coverage, I've got to let this completely dry, and then it'll be ready to glue on to the belt. So I'm just making a new piece of leather to go on the tail end of Deb's belt. Because it's so damaged, I've taken an edging tool around the edge to create a nice smooth cut edge, and now I'm just cutting a stitching groove around the edge because I want to sink the stitches in when I sew it all together, just to give it a little bit of extra protection. Okay, what I need to do now is just go ahead and stain this down to complement Deb's belt, and then I can go into prick marking it. I've got everything ready now to start gluing Deb's belt onto the new piece of leather here. It's only the tail that's going to be sewn once I put the new tail on top. Once they join together, I'm not going to be able to pull them apart. So fingers crossed we get this right. Lay it down, there we go. What I'm going to do now is just flip it over, put another cutting board on top and pop some weight on, because I think that will make sure everything is well and truly pressed down. I've gone ahead and glued the new tail in place, ready for me to start sewing. This is going to make sure that Debs can use it with confidence, and there's no chance of that tail coming off. And I think it's going to add a very nice decorative edge here. So the thread I'm using here is a brown linen thread, and I've put needles on each end so that I can do double hand stitching. It's one of those stitches that if you have one of the stitches break, the rest will hold, whereas a machine stitch, they tend to unravel. It's going to take me a little while to get this completed, but I think the final effect is going to be really quite lovely.
Abertillery 1930. Look at that. And that one goes just there.
Getting the Rugby trophy over the line involves reattaching nearly 100 plaques and a geography lesson.
Next one is Aberfon. If I get Welsh towns in a quiz, I'm going to know all the names by the end of this. Maesteg, Newport. I really hope that I've done Lynn and all of the young people that play for this trophy proud, and that they will look forward to playing for it in the future.
Over a century since it was made, it looked as if it was game over for the Rugby trophy. Now Lynn has returned with two of this season's victorious players who hope to bring it home.
Hello, Lynn.
Hi, Brendan.
Who have you got with you?
My name's Joss. I'm Reese.
Explain how important this trophy is.
Well, it's one of the, I think, oldest schoolboy trophies in the world.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it'll be sort of there and there for another 100 years, I hope.
So, are you ready to see it?
Yeah.
See what I've done, Lynn?
That's shiny, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that's the rugby ball at the front. Oh, yeah, bit that was missing.
Oh, wow. Absolutely perfect.
It's amazing.
Is that the same shield? That is absolutely spectacular. Thanks so much, honestly.
Pleasure.
Looks like the crack's gone on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crack's gone.
I remember not being able to read some of the writing on it as well.
Yeah.
That's how like, old it used to be.
Every shield has been taken off, and Lou, our woodworker, fixed the wood.
Wow, I can't believe how good it looks. And the rugby ball is perfect.
Yeah. It works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does work. Oh, and the G's back.
It didn't look quite right without it.
No.
Everything's just so much more clear.
Yeah.
And it's kept its, like, originality as well. You can tell that this is an old trophy. I think that's what will mean the most to everybody.
How do you guys feel being part of that history?
Just to think that the team we've played in are going to be on this shield for years to come. It's amazing.
Well, you guys won this trophy. I think it's appropriate that you pick it up and walk out with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Good luck.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure, Lynn.
Thanks.
Thank you for bringing it.
Cheerio now.
Thank you
Bye
very much.
now.
I think the trophy looks absolutely spectacular. The boys and myself are here representing all the players and staff who have played for it, been involved in it since 1904 and 5.
I think the trophy looks amazing now. It really does look like a trophy, and it's really impressive.
I can't thank Brendan enough. Diolch yn fawr.
Satisfied she's added much-needed strength to Deborah's old belt, Susie has turned to restoring its long-lost good looks.
This coloured, rejuvenating cream is going to fill in some of the cracks, disguise them a little bit. Got to be careful around Deborah's name and just work around this with a cotton bud, because I want to keep that Deborah very bright and vibrant. I get a thrill out of cleaning and rejuvenating old leathers because it's such a beautiful material to work with, and just to be able to bring it back to an appearance that it had years ago, and when you can put a smile on somebody's face, it's a great day.
After 4 decades of use, the belt was wasting away. But to Deborah, it's always been a precious reminder of special days with much missed parents.
Hello.
Hi, Susie.
Lovely to see you again.
Hi, Jay.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, just really excited. I'm obviously really excited. Yeah.
She's even got her jeans on as well.
Yeah. Well, it's your jeans belt, isn't it?
And they're falling down, so, you know, help.
But there's only one way to test that out.
You ready? Here we go.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Seriously? You didn't go and buy a new one?
Well...
It's holding its shape. And it's the original colour as well. Look at that. I couldn't have imagined.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't have imagined. It's like it was when I opened the parcel from Mum and Dad. They surprised me. And that was my belt. That was my Deborah belt.
That's your Deborah belt.
They'd be amazed, I think. What they'd given to me has served so well these years and is now going to carry on doing so.
Brilliant.
They'd have loved that. That would have made them both smile and... yeah.
Perfect.
Now, I suppose the telling thing is...
Well, your trousers are going to fall down, so you've got to do it.
sliding through. Oh my goodness, look. Wow.
Middle hole.
That one, that's
Bang
the
on.
one.
That's what we want. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
You happy? Yeah.
Yeah. I can't thank you enough.
I love the fact that you're going to wear it, and that's all the thanks that I need. So just wear it with pride.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Debs.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, you take care.
You take care
Bye
now.
now.
Bye.
Oh, it's just great to be reunited with my belt. I really never thought for one moment it would be looking like this. I won't be taking it off. It belongs in my jeans and that's where it'll stay. And I don't need any other belts now. Back to my Deborah belt.